Hey, AfterBuzzers, you're tuned into the SNL After Show. We're talking Kevin Hart and the Foo Fighters Christmas episode. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
We're back. Not a Christmas song, but you know, they did a Christmas song too. But
yeah, they did.
I don't think
a medley, and it was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
You know what kind of episode it was when the Foo Fighters were the highlight of it.
Yeah, we can just cut to them and just talk about them.
And it's not because I'm white, because I hate the Foo Fighters usually.
I usually really like Kevin Hart.
Yeah, so I knew Kevin Hart wasn't gonna be. Well, let's get into it. You know, the holidays come around. There's some special cheer, happiness, and joy. None of that was in this episode, I don't think. I think they left it all out. We'll get into it now. But before we dive into the episode, Elizabeth, where can we find you on the internet?
Hey folks, glad you're here with us. I'm Elysabeth Alfano. You can find me Twitter, Instagram, Dinner Party CHGO, and I still do Facebook. I'm the only one basically, but you can find me there too, Elysabeth Alfano.
I'm on the Facebook as well.
The Facebook.
You can find me everywhere at Amy Maestri.
What's up, everyone? You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Steph Sabraw.
And I'm Kelly McInerney. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at HollyWeirdo. Kelly McInerney was taken. Yeah, this episode. Wow, nice. You guys. So you're a fan of Kevin Hart. What did you guys feel going in? Were you guys excited about it? How did you, expectations before you put play?
I hate to focus on his outside life because I don't really like doing that, but I know he is having a few issues in terms of his wife and family life that he's trying to get reorganized, and I think that has to do with his new tour date name, Irresponsible, because he was beyond irresponsible. But so I was excited. I was thinking, we're going to get some of the stand-up Kevin Hart that everyone loves and what made him into the biggest icon in comedy in forever, I feel like. And not forever, but in so long, he's really outdone himself. But I absolutely hated his monologue. Right off the bat, I was like, he's just not the same. I feel like, I said it, I was like, he lost his mojo.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it last week. He's always too big for me. A lot of his comedy
Even
is
though
just...
he's little.
Get it?
I knew it was coming.
It's just, a lot of his comedy relies so much on just, a weird facial expression that he's doing, or yelling and repeating himself a lot.
He's been selling out shows, though. He's the one... one of the last comedians that sells out stadiums.
Madison Square Garden, yeah.
It's insane. Yeah. But sorry, go.
So that was kind of it's what I thought it was going to be. Everything relied on that, and it was,
wow.
I didn't think it was, I was hoping it was going to be better than that, because there's no pulse the entire episode.
I just don't know how you can be so popular and so out of touch that he would do those topics, particularly when he's having problems at home. I don't know how he could think he would reach any women with these kind of jokes.
Well, and it's just so crazy.
Even men, how
we were talking about this before in terms of smart comedians and how that's what we really appreciate, and he does kind of go off the fact that he is a smart comedian. Look at the empire he's built, which is true. I'm not discrediting that. Yeah. But like you said, with what the times are, with his situation, with everything, and just knowing that women literally run marketing and whatever we buy is what is in. So it's just what are you doing?
Yeah. I don't think of him as a smart comedian, though. I think he's successful and everything, and that's there's so many success, but his jokes are what, I agree with Amy, very I'm gonna make a weird face. Oh, I'm gonna do an impression of this. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's just very voicey and
it's very voicey. Yeah, that's a great expression. It's very much like you were saying before. Give the loud voice, give the funny face, but is there an intellectual pull through? Not necessarily.
And sure, it's not his whole fault that this episode sucked, because you could blame the writing, but the monologue was his fault. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's just briefly mention the cold opening, though. The Christmas message from the White House, random Scarlett Johansson. As Ivanka.
Yeah, that was a highlight. and that was it.
Yeah. I like Jeff Sessions as the
Oh,
elf.
I did like
I love Jeff Sessions. Yeah, I should say that. Loved
That's
that.
exactly how I imagine him being. In
I love
Christmas
the digital
form.
tail that comes out behind him. It's great.
Yeah.
I think this was the perfect example of what we've been complaining about so much when they really just like go through headlines. There was a moment where he literally just said, Roy Moore, he's talking about him, I always knew he would win until he didn't win. And then I said, he literally just said
That's the news.
it out loud. And I was just like, you're reading the news right now, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it would be funny. However, that's real life. That's actually what happened.
Yeah.
See, I thought, because, usually you think the SNL comedy special, so they're going to go big and it's going to be funny and there's going to be lots of laughter. I thought you'd bring in Melissa McCarthy. You'd have all these cameos come in of, the great moments up until today of the year. So Sean Spicer or other people who'd played these roles. None of that. So it just felt tired. The whole show felt tired, and this, like, back at the White House, just felt tired.
Or at least have Dave Grohl do something, because he does comedy. I like when the musical guests sometimes do shit.
Yeah.
This was just a typical boring cold opening with some holiday stuff in it. Same old jazz.
But it was like holiday was an afterthought.
Oh, and I thought it was very hot, like, it's a tree of shame, but it was very easy to make it.
Yes, they just brought in holiday, like, as their backdrop, and then they did the same thing that they do.
Well, that's where I think, too, they really missed out on the opportunity to be able to, like, have people come in as those as those people and doing impressions instead of just hanging them on the tree, like you were saying.
Ornament of their
that would have been great.
like, where's the real deal?
Yeah, I think that was a missed opportunity, but it was cool seeing Scarlett Johansson come back and do a contest.
It's almost like they really need to change their approach, because it's not necessarily that what they're writing isn't funny. It's just not funny with actually the reality of things. So they need, if they want to cover politics, which people obviously enjoy, they have to change the way they're doing it. It can't be actually what's happening, because we know they're a joke.
Yeah.
They're a huge joke every day. What else?
I feel like that's SNL's trouble. There's another sketch I want to talk about later on, but I think they have trouble just pushing the boundary and being too honest. Like, yes, this is real world. Let's get dark and like. It's funny and because it's so scary.
Yeah. I think the best political sketches that they've done this season and always is obviously when they take a strong point of view, which they don't. They just say what's going on.
Yeah.
But when they take it out of that situation and they give it something unique.
Yeah.
Right now, this was a perfect example too, where they had 20 different things happening in this sketch. Because I get it. Yeah, every week there's a shit show a mile long. So it's like, there's a lot of things to touch on, but you can't do all of them in one sketch. The best ones have been like Sessions when they did the Forrest Gump thing, or like give them something different to do and put your point of view in it while you're still making those comments, but not just doing a 10-minute opening.
Yeah.
And just Sessions as a possum. So that's a good example where they're putting their spin on something to heighten it, to make it funny, to take it larger than life. Everybody else, they're just playing as is. Huckabee. I mean, there was a time when the Huckabee digital sketch that we all thought was great. Okay, that was taking it higher. But this just is recounting. So, and I count on them to bring us out of this sort of cultural funk that we're in. So I think part of it, you always talk about the audience being down. I think part of it is like, we just can't laugh at this stuff because it's our life. So there's a cultural low that we're all going through as well.
That's a good point.
Yeah, well, let's talk about what we want to talk about. How much this monologue was a piece of shit. Oh, man,
Such a good introduction.
Yeah, SNL has been called a boys' club for many years, and then only in the 90s when, like, Sherry O'Terry and Anna Gasteyer, Maya Rudolph joined, Amy Poehler, that's when it became like a girls' club. We've been fighting women aren't funny, that whole like motto for years. Fucking Kevin Hart. I know I'm cursing, but we're adults.
I actually would say that comedy has been a boys' club, not just SNL.
Well, SNL has been called it, so that's
As well,
and we're
yeah.
talking about SNL.
Right,
So,
larger
Yeah,
than
just SNL was like
yeah, but
TV comedy.
yeah, he comes in just saying, talk about women aren't funny. Nobody comes home to say, I'm gonna hang out with mom.
I'm sorry, my kids are gonna think I'm the coolest thing that hit the. There's no way my husband is gonna be cooler than me.
Okay.
There's just not. So Kevin, you don't know me.
Yeah.
I loved hanging out with my mom.
Me too.
Mom, I love you.
Okay.
She's like my best. My mom's like one of my best friends. She watches this podcast.
Yeah.
Mom, you rule.
You rule, Mom.
Shout out to Deborah McInerney.
Okay, first of all, women around the country are saying, fuck you. My kids think I'm funny, and not only if they don't think I'm funny, it's because you're never here helping me. So I'm stretched so flippin' thin because I'm bringing home the bacon, money, whatever, and I'm watching the kids and getting them rest. And, he did give that litany of what everyone's doing. And if you're not helping, then I'm completely stressed
He's
out.
busy having sex with another lady
Apparently
while
he
her
is.
is pregnant. That's why.
This sounded
Dealing
like
with
a set
extortion.
from like the
90s.
80s comedy club
I
that
agree.
like someone's
So
testing
old.
out new material
So tired.
and is
And
like
he writes, like, when you're a stand-up, you basically write your own monologue. So we can't blame the writers.
yeah. This
No,
is
and I
all
don't.
him.
This was completely him. You could tell because he always does. In his comedy, talk about his family and his kids and stuff, and it's usually funny and it's usually kind of staying away from the roles. And this was completely
Falling
on the
into that.
roles, and it just is diminishing to women. It's not funny, and even I was with guys watching it, and they didn't think it's funny because it's just not accurate.
Yeah.
What was the line too that killed me was, I hate when young women force old men to have babies. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about right now? And it was like, even if you take out the fact that it was like crazy offensive, it still just wasn't good. Even when he wasn't being a complete dick, it was still just bad.
Yeah.
His setups were really long before he ever got to a joke. He repeated himself over and over again, which is something that he always does that I don't like.
Yeah.
But he took so long to get where he was going with each joke that I was just like, it's not even funny. If I didn't find it offensive,
Yeah.
it's still not funny.
I think he tries too much, because Chris Rock also has that same delivery of mentioning the premise and then having another punchline, mentioning the premise, here's another punchline,
Yeah.
like repeating. But his are about, like, oh, let's sell bullets for more money instead of getting rid of, like, making guns illegal. Like, that's one of my favorite Chris Rock jokes. But like, they're smart and not about, like, going back to the 80s and everything about, like, we're trying to get away from this. This is why Trump is president.
Yeah.
Because there's still people like you that don't vote for women.
And it's not, and I feel like this could be misconstrued where we're playing into exactly what he depicted us as not funny and nags and
we're
all
funny.
this.
Oh,
And
no,
this
we're
is
funny.
the thing,
Stop it right now.
you can offend us on so many levels, but to characterize us in a certain like homemaker role and that's all we are, that's just dumb.
Well, it's so
I hate
stupid
kids.
and out of touch.
In fact, I never plan on having kids.
I actually thought it was insulting to men as well because so many men pitch in, so many men tag team it because
Yeah.
both people are working and they're on it and they don't get any credit in this. So I thought, you're just like decades late, dude.
Yeah.
So I don't know why. I actually thought SNL would have, even though he writes it, I thought that they have an understanding of what the person's going to talk about. So I was surprised that there was no
they
veto.
do.
I mean, it's
Well,
it's
so
in
they
the cue
didn't
cards,
veto
it's-
this?
yeah.
They didn't like help him out and say like, no, don't do it.
I mean, I'm sure it was kind of weird because right now he is still kind of peaking.
Yeah, and he's going on tour
Yeah.
again, probably selling out shows again.
And I'm sure a lot of them look up to him as a comedian. As like you should. I do think he's a great comedian, but this is just like he's just not the same. Hopefully he comes back because this was really.
It was not good.
So
I wrote, this was my notes for it. Babies, moms/women aren't fun. I hate him. So I hated it. It was terrible. You guys have anything else to add about the monologue?
No, I think I really
Yeah.
think we
brought that up.
We sunk that.
Women are funny. Who won the best supporting actress?
That's right. I
Emmy?
think it was
Kate McKinnon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Alec
That-
Baldwin won? That was bullshit.
That
'cause it
very
was the cast
unfunny
member, but-
Kate McKinnon.
Yeah.
Everyone hates her.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Ugh.
Yeah,
Ugh,
no
the
fun
worst.
in that lady.
I did like, though, right after the monologue, there was a strong women sketch. It was a great idea, but then it kind of fizzled. The whole Pandora charm. We take one little fact about your wife and make it a charm.
Yeah.
Good, because it's true. Like, there are those moms in the monologue probably that Kevin mentioned getting these dumb charms from probably Kevin Harts of the world.
That know actually kind of nothing about them. They're like, I think you like clothes. Here's a shirt pin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought it was funny about Pandora, which is just the cheesiest jewelry company ever. And then I also was sort of funny, all the guys I know, so this is not a stereotype. Maybe there are many men who are great gift givers, but all the guys I know really struggle with giving gifts. And so they're like, yeah, you're a nurse, fine.
Yeah.
Here, I'll get you a thing that says nurse. Or, so that I thought that was kind of funny because the men in the sketch were like, yeah, you like coffee, or you can see they were struggling with the gift. So I thought it was funny, but it just didn't go anywhere. And I can say that about so many things this show. They had a funny idea, and that's all they had.
Yeah.
It didn't heighten, it didn't, the beats weren't there, it just didn't play out with any arc. It just said, there's a one-liner funny here, and we'll make something out of it.
And a lot of times they do have those weird sketches that are like the za and za thing. But I feel like these could have went somewhere if you tried.
Yeah. I thought that they were going to take this into, I thought they were going to escalate the idea of, these men who are married to these women and literally know nothing about them.
Yeah.
So I thought that they were going to escalate that, which is what I would have liked to see them do. Because, again, the premise is really funny. Oh, I don't know what to get you, so here's a coffee cup because I know you like coffee.
Yeah.
And Pandora always makes it out to be like, it's a really thoughtful gift. There's no thought that goes into those gifts at all. So I think they really did have a good opportunity to escalate here, and they just never did it.
I was thinking that too. I was like, are one of them going to be like, do you not know I quit my job as a nurse 2 months ago, you idiot? I thought
would
it was
be
going to
funny.
do that.
See, I thought I was going to juxtapose how good of gift givers the women are. So they, at the end, they had all these one-liners like, we got a threesome, and I got him a motorcycle. And I thought they were going to heighten it by he got a bad gift, she got a good one, he got a bad gift, she got a better one.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to go that route. But no.
Either one of those would have been great, I think.
But we're so unfunny, so I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of unfunny, here's another sketch. The cell phone business meeting, that's what I wrote. It's like he has to use the bathroom the whole time but refuses to admit it. This would have been way funnier if it got more gross, I think. Just like the blood thing of last episode. Just go off the rails with this because it's a dumb idea, but just lose it.
I agree.
I
thought he should have... he should have just, exploded, basically.
Yeah. Show us the poop.
Yeah, get some chocolate running in there.
What was your
Get
main
it
takeaway from the
nasty.
episode? Show us the poop.
All more poop.
This was the exact sketch I planned on for this episode.
Okay. That makes sense. No, that's great. That makes
Look at
sense.
Kevin Hart make a
Make
dumb
it weird.
face.
Yeah. I thought this
Sweating
was
For
to
4
him.
minutes.
Yes. Yeah. I thought they made this sketch for him.
I will say, and this is my basically main only positive note, his energy is great.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
it's almost uncomparable on some levels. Tiffany Haddish is almost the equivalent, I would say, but his energy is great, and that's the only saving grace I feel like of a lot of these is that he does go all in, and it is in some respects funny. His face expression, the sweating, but then it's like you step back and it's not.
Yeah, he really did. That's a great point because he really did commit to everything. And I mean, he's great at doing that, and it's fun to. That's the thing. He's someone who's fun to watch because of how when he gets it really into it. But there's nothing behind it though with his jokes in a lot of cases, and then also with a lot of these sketches like this one. It's just there's nothing there.
Yeah.
But I just thought if they were gonna still do this as a sketch, then the only thing could have been that they would have to get really gross with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, anything?
Same thing. I mean, I thought this was really written for him, and this revolved around his energy and his faces and his body movement, and the sweating was kind of fun, and the sound was kind of great, but didn't go anywhere, could have been so much bigger, and to pull it off, if you're going to go so basic humor, so that's kind of disappointing if we're down to poo-poo jokes. So
I love a good poop joke.
I know you do.
Listen,
I know you do.
Sometimes they could be funny.
Well, okay, I'll leave it to
Reminds me
you
of my
to sort of
screen
work
name.
that out. But if you're going to go that level, you got to really play it big. Otherwise, it's just a poop joke, which
Yeah.
It's pretty shitty.
My 6th grade screen name was Poo on You 332.
Oh hell yeah, we would have been great friends.
So
Now that's funny.
One of my
SNL, hire me.
One of my favorite Nicki Minaj songs is "Did It On 'Em," and it's about put your number 2s in the air if you shit it on 'em. Yeah, it's great. I love.
And the show
Great
takes
work.
a turn.
Great work, sis.
We get into funny sex instead of SNL.
The next sketch, I thought it was such a great idea, so funny.
Yes.
And then at the end, you're like, why did you do that?
Yes.
Why did you just become the
Ruin that.
stereotype? The Captain Shadow and the Cardinal with Chris, who was in Pop Star.
He was so good. I
just wanted to
loved
show
him.
my hoodie.
He was great.
Oh, he killed it. They both were great. I loved
well.
Kevin Hart's Batman voice.
Yeah.
That was perfect. I even wrote, "This is the perfect sketch" before the end.
I agree.
But it was like a parody of them playing superheroes and getting pulled over, which it's kind of relatable in this crazy world, you know?
Yeah. It is, and I thought that there were so many places to go with that in terms of like vigilante and all this type of stuff, and with the police and everything. And the setup was great. Their outfits were awesome. Their voices were great. Their characters were great.
Yeah.
And I love Kevin Hart when he does do this kind of teacher apprentice type thing. He's the funniest person because he's always wild and out of control and shouldn't really be teaching things, but it just didn't.
Well, at the end when they get busted for cocaine, I just was
that killed it.
I didn't want the cops to win. That's the whole point of the sketch.
They buried themselves.
Yeah.
They had it all going for them, and they
Right.
totally tanked themselves.
Well,
That's just bad writing.
I think they did have it going for them, but they also didn't because they fucked up in the beginning again by like having too many. I saw 3 different premises started.
Yeah.
And I was like, which one is it going to be? And then when I realized they were going after that, they still didn't go after it that hard. And then, they end with the stereotype. I'm like, great premise. A black superhero duo gets pulled over by the police.
Yeah.
Awesome premise. But then it kind of turned more into, I thought it was going to be like Chris, like him, like misinterpreting things. Like when he said, like, no, he's not my dad, but we live in a cave together.
Yeah.
Those kind of beats. I was like, oh, okay, so it's going to go there. And then they went that way. And it ends with black man getting busted for cocaine.
Yeah.
So disappointing. Right.
And then they introduce Kenan, and you're like, okay, so he's gonna show the white policeman his way. Oh no, nope.
Like this could have
So
been
then it was all
such.
stereotypical. They fell into
It could have been such a good social commentary sketch, and they just ruined it.
That's the problem, I think, with this with SNL lately. They're not pushing the boundary. Like, because this is a serious issue. Like, black guys are getting shot by cops all the time for no reason. Let alone I can't imagine how many just get pulled over for no reason.
randomly.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yes.
Not to mention that some things are planted on them, and I don't know if they were trying to say that if it truly was cocaine or energy dust.
That
or
would
if
have
it was
been
a plant.
great
I know.
if the cop did plant it on them.
At first I
Yeah.
thought he did, but then I couldn't tell because in the end he recognized that it was cocaine. He being Batman.
No, it was because the guy admitted it was energy dust.
I agree with you. I just think that especially with this episode, there was so much social commentary that could have been said, and not only that, I think we're learning that you should say stuff like this. So if you have the platform, you should make an opinion known and SNL, you've already severed ties with a huge population. You're not hurting anyone's feelings.
Yeah.
Most of us who view this agree with the social commentary that should be said, so say it.
I feel like they're not scared of it because they've done it before.
Yeah.
They're getting there with women sometimes, but then they backtrack. They always almost get there. Like Che is great on Update,
Right.
but then they backpedal so much.
Because they want to be like us.
Because this is even something too that this didn't even have to be social commentary if they didn't want to. They could have gone that route of let Chris
Just
saying like
superheroes.
interpreting things differently of that would be a funny premise too of like superheroes, how do they live normal day lives when you hear the things that like it's one of those things where you say something out loud and you hear it and you're like, oh god, that's weird. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I thought it was going to be. So it either needed to go a lot harder and get more specific on that social commentary piece and have a better ending for them, or fine, don't say anything about social commentary
it
and
was
it
sort of
just have it be silly.
Play or go home, and they didn't. They just kind of waffled in the middle,
Yeah.
and that's why they feel tired to me. Like the whole cast, just even the playing. I mean, Kevin Hart brought a lot of energy, but the writing and the playing just felt like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe because they're ready for Christmas break. Inside the NBA, I didn't really understand it, except, oh, cool, he's on stilts. And I liked Shaq'd in a Fool. But do you guys want to talk about Elizabeth? What did you think of it?
I just didn't think it went anywhere. So it had this funny idea that I guess Shaq, and I don't really watch Inside NBA, so I'm not a big sports person, but I guess Shaq is kind of losing it.
I think
making a commentary.
He's
I'm like,
dumb, and so is. But I thought Charles is also dumb. So I didn't.
No, Charles, I don't
He's
think Charles
gotten.
is dumb.
I used to think that, but you
know,
guys
he's-
should watch some of the stuff he's done with TNT Network. I think in
Yeah.
terms of he's talked to a few like KKK Klansmen,
Oh, wow.
and it's been.
That's
That was
fun.
like the best interview I've watched of the year. So just side note on him, he's smarter than we think.
Yeah,
Well, I just base it on SNL. Like they make him dumb on SNL, and then all of a sudden, wait, you're kind of smart, and Shaq's dumb. That's why That's why I was confused. I know he's not dumb in real life.
No,
It,
yeah.
just it didn't have any
Yeah,
real
we
ending,
don't
and
know.
it didn't really have any structure to it except that, okay, we're going to, again, give Kevin Hart a platform to become Shaq, and I don't know Shaq well enough to know if he did a good job of that.
I think he did good.
Yeah.
Good voice.
Yeah.
They've done this before with Shaq, which I get it. Shaq's dumb. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shaquille O'Neal, but I guess that's a thing. So I think this sketch, first of all, if they wanted to do this, it should have been him and Kenan doing this on Update as a commentary back and forth.
Yeah.
This wasn't a whole sketch.
Yeah.
Because it literally was Shaq says something dumb. Charles Barkley says, look at how dumb you are.
Yeah.
Shaq says something dumb. Charles Barkley. And that's all it was back and forth the whole time.
They didn't need the other two.
So
really
I
didn't.
think they literally were just like, Kevin, what impressions do you want to do? He said Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
And then they wrote this, but it should have been on Update if they were going to do it. And like, I get like some of his lines were funny. Like they just got like his like train of thought where he's like, the dogs at night, but then no, dogs don't, they go to sleep at night, and then it's cats around. Like,
Yeah.
So I liked a lot of those lines, but it wasn't a sketch. It needed to be an Update bit.
And I it kind of reminded me of the the cold opens a lot of the time where I feel like they've gotten masterful at their impersonations, at the hair and makeup, that it's so spot on, which kind of was funny in the beginning when they were getting really good with all of that stuff, and now it's like it's so spot on that it's not that funny. Like that's not enough.
Yeah,
that's
I
not
get
the
that.
skit.
You have to still have a good
A
impression.
premise, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I also thought that for a premise, they could have had one because Charles Barkley, everything with Roy Moore, like, because he was down, you know,
Oh,
like
yes.
campaigning for Jones. And like, so I kind of thought it was going to go more into that
Yeah.
too, which again, I think that was a missed opportunity because I think it's just literally, Kevin, what impressions do you want to do? Let's
Which
throw
is
this
why,
at the wall.
and you feel that. You feel like it's phoned in. You feel
Yeah.
like, okay, they really haven't come to write their best.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters. Hey, not bad. Hey, I was going in being like, what? I don't know any new Foo Fighters. First song, whatever. Second song, I know that song. And Christmas. That was cool.
The sweaters, the clothes.
Oh, it was
those
great.
sweaters were,
They
and all of
looked
them, they were so
fabulous.
committed.
Yeah.
And then the little menorah on the back piano with their electrical keyboard that they had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of fun. And yeah.
It was fun,
And
yeah.
the set looked great.
Yeah, the set
And
looked
all
great, the
lights.
lights.
And the silver bells and stuff. It was great.
The musical performance was the only thing that was like
Good.
like worthy of a Christmas episode where it's supposed to go big and
Yeah.
like have a lot of fun stuff going on, and you know, like you see, even like they used to do a lot of cameos a lot of times. You never know scheduling, like sure, if it doesn't work out for people, but like this was just such a lackluster episode that like Foo Fighters were the only thing that seemed like cool.
It was
They were
not
great.
a holiday
Yeah.
episode.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't.
No.
No, it was really, yeah.
It was a bummer. But yeah, they were great. Update. Do you guys have any fun update jokes that you want to talk about? I thought it was funny when Roy Moore was, they said, oh, gross, over 20 years.
Oh yeah.
The first Democratic senator elected in Alabama. Gross, over 20, in 20 years. You guys heard the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Kelly, tell us where we can catch your next stand-up act.
Oh,
Let's
tomorrow.
see.
Okay, you can't shame President Grabass. That was kind of fun. I liked that.
Yeah, calling him that's giving him spinach. I thought that was
That's
fun.
right. Yeah, I liked that. Che doing it's not, and I'm going to butcher this, but it's not really that we want to vote for you. It's that when I look at the two options of who I'm going to vote for, I'm going to say, okay, if I were pulled over by either one of you, who's going to be the least, you know? So that was good. 98% of the black women coming out. That was great.
I love the cuts of people talking about Omarosa.
Oh, yeah.
Way more than Omarosa was.
That was by far my favorite part of the Weekend Update, especially with Robin Roberts, because that is so true. I have never seen her talk about someone in a negative way. Like, she is so good at being so likable. So
professional.
So when the whole part was funny when the girls were like, bye girl! I was like, I love all y'all, like, right now. And then with her, that was such a smart scene.
It was so good.
Yeah, I love that.
Way better than Omarosa, or as I like to call it, Leslie in a wig. She just didn't do anything. She just was just herself. Well, actually, I guess she was less angry.
Well, yeah, because she doesn't do an impression.
Yeah.
It's just, it's literally, like you said, Leslie in a wig. But you know what? This should have been... It wasn't enough to have her come on and speak. There's no reason to bring her back after having her in the cold open. I think what they should have done, not had her do it. Again, Leslie's at her best when she doesn't speak. Have her not speak and have it be a runner throughout the episode, like they did when Kellyanne was tweeting in the office, in the Oval Office with her feet up.
Yeah.
And they just showed Kate every once in a while, like sitting on the piano tweeting or doing whatever. I thought that's what they could have done with Omarosa, where every once in a while at the end of a sketch, in a transition, it's a runner where she's just like not like trying to get back in, or like chasing down Alec Baldwin as Trump, or like little things like that. Because she didn't say anything in this.
Well, worse, she did say stuff, and it was really pointless stuff. So
that's what I'm saying. Like she didn't actually
add
anything.
Right? She didn't add any value here. So here, I think, is another. We said this before, but it's kind of the same criticism. They're literally taking what happened in the news. No, take my arm because I want to go into a bush. No, take, I want to be thrown into a Christmas tree.
Very specific,
Very specific to, she's claiming that she wanted to change the locks on her office, and she wanted them to change her security pass, and she wanted to be escorted out of the building. So literally she's just trying to take the news and make that the funny bit, but we already know the news. So
I just felt with the Weekend Update, especially during a holiday special, that they would have something like Fred and Kristen Wiig coming on and doing the caroler type, where they come out with or sing something in their sweater vest, something holiday-esque. There's so much opportunity for that. I mean, it's a gold mine at holiday singers, carolers.
Or just have Leslie in a sweater.
Hanukkah, anything.
Because then they brought some musical skits, because there's so much singing around the holidays.
Because then they brought in the guy who just bought a boat. Not a huge favorite the first time, I remember. Then they had did Ryan Gosling come in with him?
Oh yeah.
That was, and they were just talking broy.
Comparatively, I liked this guy because there wasn't anything this whole show. So comparatively, I thought, okay, well, at least there's something. Feliz Navidad, and he did. I
love all the cum jokes.
No, I thought it was smart writing, and it was funny, but it just wasn't. It's not perfect, but it was funny, and I thought it was smart. And I assume he wrote that, right, and created this
I think
character.
that's one of his characters that he's done for a while, and I think his delivery on it is so impressive. Me too. Because those are really specific beats
and really fast.
they're really specific beats that you have to hit every time, and the words that he's saying are not normal, natural words that you're used to saying unless you're a douchebag.
And he says it very casually.
He's not.
Very casually.
I think his delivery is always really good on it, but I think this character's at its best when he's actually like elaborating more on the whole idea of that character. Like, what is that guy like? What is that douche who buys the boat really like? And I think when he gets specific with that is when it's at its funniest, rather than just like, I know you have a tiny dick. We get it.
Like, also, what guy that just bought a boat would talk about his tiny dick?
Yeah.
I feel like that was I don't know.
I did enjoy the mistletoe.
I like my missile is a toe, so it was great. Yeah, and then there was you can go ski and she chalet. I mean, there was some great word plays there. I think the writing is great. I think his delivery is great. I think what they're trying to say, because what guy who's trying to buy a boat to impress everybody would talk about his small penis? I think they're trying to say that that's kind of what's going through his head. That's how I take it.
Stream of consciousness?
Yes.
I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, like little dick syndrome.
Yeah. Maybe it's always self-conscious. We got 3 more sketches. Let's barrel through them because they're garbage.
Yeah.
Rock Harbor Christmas service. Hey, Elizabeth, you hated this because it's about llamas. Talk about
Yeah,
it.
you take it away.
So
I have
everyone, you
nothing
can
to
take
say.
me up on this if you're watching on social media or whatever. I know we have one guy who's always kind of trolling us after every show he's commenting. So go ahead,
Yes,
comment to me because I
Regulavore.
am ready for this.
I don't know how to read.
What the F are they doing bringing a llama on the show? That poor llama. So some of you didn't see this sketch, I think.
I just zoned out. I was
Okay.
like, this is not funny.
I
So
did not see it on
They
Hulu.
build the whole sketch around this llama being aggressive and hard to tame. The whole joke is, in another language, calm down llama, basically. The poor llama is so gentle and just standing there, and then they're doing all these misreading of lines, basically. They're not even in sync. They're not even reading them well. They're saying, like, oh, we can't be doing our nativity scene because the llama is so scary. And the poor llama's just sitting there. There was nothing funny about it. And what are you doing bringing wild, exotic animals onto Saturday Night Live? And then you're writing
Sometimes
a...
they're funny, like Toons is. I'm waiting for. I wanted somebody to correct me. I get it. He's a puppet cat. Sorry.
I don't know. God help us. All right. God help. I don't know. I mean,
I
there was no writing there.
No,
I was
yeah,
just saying, if
yeah.
we bring in a wild animal,
I've
then
been-
that'll be funny because the wild animal will be freaked out on stage, and we can make fun of
That's
how
what I
freaked out
think
they
they
are.
do on SNL when they bring animals. They're like, hey, here's a here's a wacky animal.
No.
We don't have to write
That's not what
jokes.
they're saying.
Look
They're
at how
saying-
crazy.
No. They're saying, here's an exotic animal. We're going to put them in a position so that they're scared. That will be funny. So F you, because that is not funny.
I agree it's not funny because I feel really
Yeah.
bad for the llama.
What's
too.
funny about it?
No.
Like, no,
on a second.
Nobody
Jesus,
just
let
like,
me-
where's the writing there?
We get it. We get it. You're mad.
Yeah.
We got a
I've
few
been
more
waiting
minutes
for-
Get me out.
and two more sketches. So.
Here's the things. I don't
no
think
writing.
I don't think that they were like, this is gonna be hilarious because like we get to be awful to a llama. I think it was a terrible idea for a sketch, and I'm really sad that the llama did have to be there because. It is sad. Like, you could tell the llama was scared. But the fact also, too, that it makes no sense because, the premise is that they're all scared because the llama is attacking them and they need to try to get through their scene that they're trying to do. But if the llama is just
It's not. It doesn't bring
sitting
the
there,
I mean, most
there's
likely
no-
it's drugged, honestly.
at that point, they're having
You
to,
have to
like,
drug
scream
it
and
to-
jump away. They're not...
That's sad.
It's not coming at you, so...
There are
yeah.
so many nativity things you can joke. There are so many religious Christmas time, Hanukkah time things you can joke about. As bad, I know I'll probably catch heat for that, but seriously, it's a gold mine making fun of like religious practices.
Well, and so much of it doesn't make sense. The nativity itself, like, okay, there's they didn't have sex, but they did. And then there's, you know, there's no Christmas trees in the desert. I mean, you could just go on and on. Like,
No llama.
but you'd have to write and you'd have to think. That didn't happen.
Hey, shade. You know who didn't have any shade? Crystal and Jean.
Oh my god.
God. This was a dumb sketch too. Just like, I think it's because, maybe if Leslie was a stronger performer, but also because Kevin Hart committed very hard to it, but the jokes were just not there, and even the cast that was there didn't seem to care about the scene. Just a quick speed round. What do you guys think? Because we gotta do one more sketch.
I was uncomfortable the entire time because I just thought it was, and I like uncomfortable humor, but that was like there was no reward, and I just felt really uncomfortable. Like I just had to go pee after.
yeah, I think again his commitment to the character was great, but there's nothing ironic about it. There was no like, oh, what if this, what if that. There's like the minor payoff of it being a holiday party and like he's the boss.
Yes.
But it's not worth all of that leading up to it. It was literally just Leslie's a demanding wife and she has him do weird things. I think he should have been into the weird things.
That would have been great.
And like
He's
that's
in a
what
pod.
they do. They go to dinner parties and get really weird in front of people and their children's toys. I thought that's where they should have gone with it, but it just
Hey, sounds better to me, Amy.
I think if you want to make fun of emotional abuse, you have to go
Big.
funny.
Go big or go home.
And I think you're running a really difficult road if you're going to stay that low key with such a hard topic and then not play it bigger, funnier.
True. PBS pledge drive.
Pointless.
Active Jack. Here's a way you could have fixed it. Kevin Hart in a fat suit.
yeah.
I think that would have been way funnier than just Keenan, who's like moderately overweight. Just go crazy.
Yeah.
Make him look and bring out that sweat machine again. What do you guys think?
That's a really good point. I was kind of confused why they wouldn't use him. They had him on stilts. Might as well throw on a fat suit.
Yeah, right?
So I loved the intro, and I thought it could have gone into a lot of weird, funny ways, and it just went exactly what you would think. I get if you were writing like a story on the most basic way you could make that, that's how it played out.
Yeah, I thought that they were gonna get weird because when they went to Kenan, I was like, first of all, yeah, dumb. It should be Kevin Hart. They could have had a lot of fun with doing that part of it, and also Kevin Hart's physicality would have been great as like him being a fat old man, a lot better than Kenan. So his physicality in that would have brought a lot to it. But I also thought too, I was just like, I thought it was gonna get weird because when he came back and the suit on him, it almost looked like a jumpsuit, like from prison. And I was like, oh, this is gonna get so creepy.
Same.
And then it was just he's just old now. And I was like,
Same. I wrote that down. I was like, I wish this was in prison.
Yeah. I thought he was gonna be in prison, but no, he got old.
So I think this plays into the mindset of the writers, or at least I feel where the mindset of the writers is. This was a really easy way to go. He gets old. That's what we all expect. And then we get the old jokes. Ow, hurts to go up the stairs. Oh, okay, I'm, farting here, farting there. I mean, it's just playing into what everybody thinks would happen. No originality whatsoever. So I'm disappointed that they're just not thinking out of the box. They're not taking anything like to a point where you'd want to hear their commentary. Everything we've said is, oh, forget it. Don't talk to us anymore because you have nothing to say about anything. Politics,
Snooze
getting
fest.
old, anything.
Like, what even was that pitch in the writer's room for this sketch? Like, okay, there's this guy who's going to have a workout video, and then he's going to get old.
Yeah.
End of story. That's
know.
it.
That's actually exactly what happened.
Yeah. I wonder if, like, they had a fat suit and maybe there was not enough time. Because
I thought about that. Maybe there was a costume change issue, but still, you could write it better. Doesn't excuse
overall,
the writing.
Overall, big old trash heap of an episode, you know? But what was good about it?
Keenan's a really good skater.
Nah.
Did you see that?
Okay, I will say that
Whenever I see Kenan, I just turn red with rage.
He was like gliding and he turned around backwards.
Who cares?
It was super
just
fun to
black
watch
out.
best
everybody
thing
skate.
about Kevin Hart, probably of the night, he looked fantastic in that velvet suit. On the ice rink. I will give him that. That was a clean. I would for sure wear that. I actually do want to order that for whenever I'm in Portland.
I don't think I listened. Once I saw his picture and I heard the dun dun dun, I was like, goodbye.
I thought Shay looked great and he's just tennis shoes going out.
Yeah, well, we love him.
So
Shay's the best.
Shay's the man.
Yeah.
So going out with not even a good fart, just like a little wimpy, I gotta call my mom fart. That's a callback.
I think you're being generous. I don't know.
Call your mom because she is cool.
Yeah.
Moms are cool.
Moms are cool.
Moms are cool.
Moral of the
And
story.
fun.
And that is an
Moms
SNL
are
skit,
fun.
which is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So.
Mom jeans, dude.
That too.
Mom jeans was
Moms rule.
Yeah. Mom's rule. Well, that was it for the year. Until next year.
Wow. January 13th.
Woo!
We'll be back here on the 14th.
I will not.
folks.
I'll be in the Dominican Republic for
Woohoo!
my birthday.
Oh, fabulous.
My birthday's January 15th.
Very
Awesome.
happy for you.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah. But I'll be back after. Until then, Elizabeth, where can we find you on the internet?
Everybody, thanks for being with us. Happy holidays to you. I'm Elysabeth Alfano. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, DinnerPartyCHGO, and all my celeb interviews at thedinnerparty.tv.
I'm Amy Maestri. You can find me at Amy Maestri. Have a great New Year. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everyone.
I'm Steph Sabraw. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Steph Sabraw. And happy holidays.
Hey, I'm Kelly McInerney. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at HollyWeirdo. Yeah, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. It's still going on, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah,
Happy Hanukkah.
Woo!
Of course.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, folks.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.